Think Dirty Harry, with great legs. Okay, everybody, today we're going all the way back to 1980 to look at a little kind of drama action flick that almost is by and large forgotten. It was remade, don't watch it, and kind of just shelved on the sideline, but should get more attention. We're talking about Gloria. But before we go any further, before we dig into this gem anymore, once and again, and as always, to the trailer.
Gena Rowlands is Gloria. She's tough, but she sides with the little guy.
I don't want to die. What do I do with you? You know, you're not my family or anything. You're just a neighbor's kid, right?
Gloria, you know, we're not interested in you. All we want is the book and the kid.
What you gonna do? Shoot a 6-year-old kid on the street?
For Gloria, the danger is always getting closer. And getting closer is always the danger.
Tony? Gloria. How are you? Can you help me?
Gloria, trust me. Maybe we can do something.
Trust you? Hey, Tony, I know you.
Where is the boy?
I want to go home.
Hey, don't be stupid. You got no home. You got me.
I understand. You are a woman. He is a little boy. You fall in love. Every woman is a mother. You love him.
I love Phil.
Do you love me?
How could I resist you? Hey, I don't like this kid.
We need the boy.
I'm gonna get up and walk out of here now. If you want to stop me, you can.
Like Cagney and Bogey and all those great tough guys. Now there is Gloria, the chick off the old block.
Come on. Come on. Oh, I'd love it. Come on. Don't hang back. I'd love it. I got a 6-year-old kid over there that had his whole family murdered by you punks. Go ahead, Trim. Okay? You let a woman beat you, huh? You little tiny nothing.
Gena Rowlands
You punk!
is Gloria. She's trying to beat the mob at their own game.
All right, this motion picture was written and directed by John Cassavetes. Now everybody knows John Cassavetes. He was actually a pretty influential guy back in his day because he was really big into the independent market. Actor, writer, director, whatever, let's go. We're talking about he did A Woman Under the Influence. He did Opening Night and Love Streams and Big Trouble and The Killing of a Chinese Bookie and Husbands and Faces and Too Late Blues. And he also did a bunch of TV shows, you know, Columbo, all that kind of stuff. But you remember him, man, come on. Peter Falk, Ben Gazzara, all his crew, they were out there doing their thing. Anyway, is what it was, is as it was. Let's keep moving. Okay, starring as Gloria, Gena Rowlands. In my opinion, one of the all-time greats. But let's just keep moving. We're talking about, of course, she was in The Notebook. She was in The Skeleton Key, and Hope Floats, and Woman Under the Influence, and Something to Talk About, and Another Woman, and Light of Day, which I've reviewed, come on, and Tempest, which everybody should check out, and The Brink's Job, and tons of TV work from, you know, Dr. Kildare to the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. Long career, big career, great actress. We'll get to that. Let's keep moving. Playing Jeri, Julie Carmen. What? I've talked about it before. Let's go. She was in Night of the Juggler. She was in The Mouth of Madness, in the Milagro Beanfield War, in Fright Night 2, and tons and tons and tons of TV, from Dream On to Falcon Crest to Hotel, Airwolf, Matt Houston, Condo, T.J. Hooker. So she was around. You might remember her face, you might not, but she was on the scene. Playing Jack, Buck Henry. And, you know, he was around as a writer, too, so he wasn't just an actor. Anyway, let's get going. We're talking about he was in little things like Grumpy Old Men, and The Player, and Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, and Defending Your Life, and Heaven Can Wait, which you probably might remember him from very well. And, of course, he was on TV, stuff, you know, Falcon Quest, and Hot in Cleveland, and 30 Rock, and The News Show. So, out about, did his thing, just the way it goes. Playing Phil, John Adams, I don't know, I can't really pronounce that right. It doesn't make a difference. It was the only thing he was ever in. There's not much to go on. He has a very prominent role in this motion picture. He was never in another thing in his life. So, I don't even know where to go with that. And if you look around this motion picture, you're going to see faces that you might recognize and people that you have seen before. Trust me, we're talking about people like Tom Noonan, who was in stuff like Wolfen and Manhunter, and John Finnegan, The Natural, JFK, tons of TV. Val Avery, are you shitting me? Come on, man. Cobra, The Wanderers, The Amityville Horror, and Lawrence Tierney, Reservoir Dogs, Silver Bullet. So there's all kinds of faces popping up in this thing. Maybe they might not have the biggest roles. Maybe they might not have the most speaking lines, but they're in this thing. Really, the cast of this thing is the Gloria character and the Phil character. Everybody else just comes and goes. That's the reality. Okay, we're going to try to do this in 90 seconds or less. So I keep it short, keep it fast, keep it entertaining, keep it moving so I can get to where I'd much rather be. The summation. I think this one can go really, really quick. Let's just cover it now. This woman is riding the bus. She's got a whole little shopping cart full of groceries. She comes home one day to find out that in her lobby, there's a guy who looks quite menacing. Well, she goes upstairs to her family, where it's her husband, her mom, a couple of the kids, and you find out very quickly they need to get the hell out of there as fast as possible. See, this guy used to work with the mob, and well, he's doing some little work now with the FBI, and the mob wants him dead, just the way it goes. So they're all trying to get out of there, all hell's breaking loose, but their daughter, you know, she's having one of those days, so she's flipping out, running around the apartment. They can't get out of there quick enough. Lo and behold, their neighbor shows up, Gloria, just stopping in for a moment, and when she does, the mother tries to say, hey, take our son, this is what's going on, the mob's coming up to kill us, you got to get somebody out of here, take my son and go. Gloria doesn't like kids, she really doesn't like her kids, but she agrees and takes the child. 5 minutes later, mob comes in, splatters everybody all over the goddamn place. Bloodbath, it is what it is. Well, Gloria's like, this ain't too cool. She takes the kid, gets the hell out of Dodge. When she leaves, photographers and news people and all that kind of shit snap her picture, and before you know it, it's all over the place that family killed, and this chick Gloria has the little boy. Well, the rest of the movie basically is her trying to get the hell out of town, and half the time ditch this kid, because she really doesn't want to do this, she really doesn't want the job, but every time she's about to walk out of this kid's life forever and just abandon him, she kind of stops the last minute and stays in the game. You find out some things about Gloria. She's really tied into the mob. She knows the mob. She used to be sleeping with one of the big mob bosses. So these people are really her friends. They even go up to her and say, Gloria, just give us the kid. We'll let you go. Gloria's like, well, you know, what are you going to do? Shoot a little 6-year-old in the street? What's the matter with you people? You fucking sick? So, she defends the kid. She shoots at the mobsters. All hell breaks loose. And the rest of the movie, she is spent chasing this child and running all over the place with him. From here to there to here to there. Near the end of it, she tries to go to one of the big mob bosses and say, hey, listen, I'll give you this book that this guy was keeping that you wanted dead in the first place if you would just let the kid go. And I'm not going to tell you what happens past that because I want you to see the rest of the movie, but it is what it is. It's a movie, it's a chase movie, it's a drama movie, it's a mob movie, it's an action movie. Kind of covers a lot of bases. Okay, everybody, now let's get down to the point. Does Gloria work? Yes, it works. Would I recommend it? Sure. Is it without problems? No. And we'll get to all that. But let's get the big three out of the way first. The directing is actually really, really good. It's got a great, almost documentary type feel to it. It captures the grit and the grime of New York, and I'll get more into that in a moment. But the directing is really, really solid. Yes, it a couple times almost goes into noir mode, away from documentary mode, but it is what it is, and we'll cover more of it in a little bit. The writing's fine. Some of the words and stuff they give to the kid, we'll cover that. But the writing, by and large, as a whole, isn't bad. So that's good enough right there. And the acting, come on, people. We're talking, this is basically a tour de force by Gena Rowlands. Really, it's almost like a one-woman show. Other people come, other people go, blah, 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 blah. Julie Carmen does a great job. Other people pop up. Don't get me wrong. But this is a 2-hour stage show, tour de force by Gena Rowlands, and she does an amazing, amazing job. Everybody else in the movie covers their grounds. Again, the child actor, I'm not crapping on him. I mean, he was a kid. He only did one thing. So a little bit is really kind of like forced and goofy, and maybe Cassavetes couldn't get the best out of him, but he did well enough. And that's all there is to it. Great? No. Sufficient? Yeah. But really, it's Gena Rowlands, and that's all you need to know. Okay, let's get to the things that are really awesome about this motion picture before we get to the things that are less than awesome about this motion picture. First off, I named it a couple seconds ago. There is a phenomenal, gritty, down and dirty vibe to this motion picture. It captures New York back in the day perfectly. It literally does. It has the look, the feel, the grime, the way that Cassavetes shot it and framed the scenes. You feel like you're with a documentary crew and you're just watching this shit almost go on. Really, really, really. It's just so well done. It captures that New York vibe so well. There's a couple scenes where you see like the kid looking out a window and they light him in red and they do all this shit where you're like, okay, we just went Nor Art House for a couple seconds. But 98% of this motion picture has that kind of street level feel, that kind of, we're going to keep this down and dirty, film it on locations, do the whole thing like that kind of vibe. And it really, really, really works for this motion picture. Second, you got Gena Rowlands, who today and over the years, I think is just a phenomenal actress who never just got the just desserts that maybe she deserved. People don't think of her like Faye Dunaway and all these other fucking people or whatever it is, Meryl Streep. But she's in that league, and that's all there is to it. If you've ever looked at her body of work, she can deliver. She delivers well, and she delivers in this. And I love the fact that they didn't try to overdo her, or she didn't try to overdo herself for the time. She's a 50-year-old woman when she made this movie, and she looks like a great 50-year-old woman, but not without this pulled and that tucked and all this other kind of stuff. She looked real. She looked authentic. There was lines, and there was bags, and she looked incredibly authentic, incredibly real, and just kick ass in this motion picture. Let's face it, man. She did an awesome job. She was one of those early female action stars that literally, not Gena Rowlands in other movies, but for this movie, really just delivered. She really pulled off a Dirty Harriet kind of role, if you will, and she made you believe it. So if you look at other work she was in where she wasn't like this, it just shows you the dynamic range that she had. And that's another thing that was great about this motion picture. The heroes, if you want to call them that, had that kind of 70s anti-hero thing. They weren't heroes. They didn't ride in on white horses with a resume that just spoke of them doing great deeds throughout their lives. They weren't like that. You root for Gloria in this, but she's not necessarily a caring individual. She might not necessarily even be the best individual, but she has a good part to her. This is a motion picture loaded with violent people, loaded with people that have done questionable shit. And in there, you have this one character of Gloria who just finds a bit of her humanity to reach out and care for this child more than just for herself, even though teeters on the fence here and there through the motion picture. And she rises above all of that. And seeing her elevated to the hero role in this and taking no shit, I mean taking no crap from anybody, is just incredible. And some of the shootout scenes in this, again, it's one of those things where they didn't glorify it. They didn't make it like one of the modern day action movies. There's no John Wickishness in this. When she's walking out of the place and they're all trying to stop her, she just blasts her way out and hops in an elevator. Not in some kind of wonderful karate fucking mode where they're like in some perfect position and they're making it look like some kind of balletic thing. No, she's just walking and going and she's just doing her thing. So they kept that, she delivered that, and it's one of those things that makes this motion picture stand out. Now, are there problems? There's problems. Let's get to it. First off, this motion picture runs a little bit long. It's a little over 2 hours, and a motion picture like this, honest to God, did not need to be. I think that they had almost too many chases in it, because literally they're trying to get away from the mob. Apparently everybody knows that she's got this kid because it's been on the news and in the papers and all that kind of stuff, but that just never gets brought up. You never see any police in this motion picture, so basically they're just non-existent. All that they do is they keep it to her running from the mob, but the mob is everywhere. I mean, apparently they're in every airport, they're in every train station, or every bus station. They just keep popping up wherever she needs to be and however she needs to get away. So you're at one point you're like, okay, come on, for the love of God, they're everywhere? I mean, she can't go nowhere and they don't know where she is? It's one of those kind of things. So it just literally shows her running from here to here to here to here, back to here, go to there, to there. And they could have cut like 20, 25 minutes of that bullshit out of the movie and still got the point across and still done everything that they needed to do and told you everything they needed to tell you. So they could have shorted up, trimmed it a bit, and got to where they needed to be a little faster. The soundtrack. Okay. When you have a documentary type movie, you don't need music to come blaring in out of nowhere at really oddball times. It's not the score itself. The score is fine, but the way it was used. It is just like 1 minute, you know, you're in this down and gritty, dirty thing where they should have kept it down and gritty and kept it without the music and all that kind of bullshit and kept it real feeling. And all of a sudden she'd start hit the sidewalk and running and you're like, da-da-da-da-da, and you're like, what the fuck? It was a bad usage of score. It didn't have to be done that way. I don't know why they did it that way. They should have just backed off it and kept it a little bit more gritty in the sound department and left the music on the low. Just saying. And lastly, the ending. I don't want to give away too much or anything like that, but it just kind of almost felt weird. Like there was no explanation to it. It's just like, after all the shit that's taken place and after we just hit you with, we're going to hit you with this semi-feel good. Everything's good. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Yay. It just kind of came like tagged on. It was like the end of Blade Runner where the whole movie's fucking dark and the next thing you know they're in the mountains and they're driving and all this other kind of shit. Which actually kind of worked when I originally seen Blade Runner, but now that you think about it, it was kind of out of place. It's the kind of same thing in here. You're just like, huh, really? Okay, I guess, whatever. You know what I mean? I think it would have been more dramatic and more meaningful if they made it darker, but it is what it is. I mean, we're going to roll with it. Blah, 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 I guess. Fine. Anyway, if y'all get a shot out there, go out and check Gloria out. Well directed, well acted, mostly. Fun little drama, action, mobster movie set with the gritty, dirty feel of New York City thrown all over it. And at the end of it, you're going to be like, that wasn't bad. Sure as shit wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad. Anyway, everybody, be good. Take care. Stay out of trouble. Be kind to a stranger. Be there for a friend. But most of all, above all else, never, and I mean ever, take any bullshit from anybody. See y'all soon.